It's one of these black obelisk buildings that's got the mirrored tiling on the outside, the window tiling. Basically your modern office building.
Are the fires out?
The fires are still smoldering. It's white smoke, not black smoke, so I assume that it is all the way out, but still smoldering.
What are people saying that you've talked to? We've had callers holding for an hour. I do mean to get to them, who are saying that they were in the office buildings and people were coming in, the FBI was coming in and grabbing all their surveillance footage.
We haven't even had a chance to talk to anyone. As soon as I walked up to the press staging area, they actually, Acevedo and Leffingwell and the fire chief came out, and they were doing their second wave of statements. So I basically just caught that and then walked around the other side while Dew did a tripod shot of that.
Where is Dew right now?
He's standing right next to me.
Let me talk to him real quick. Let's go to Dew. Okay. Give us your basic breakdown of what you're seeing there.
Okay. Well, the windows in this building are totally on that side where the plane hit, pretty much all broken out. You can see window blinds and insulation, blackened insulation that's been burnt. It's just kind of blowing in the wind. They have a ladder truck up near there, and I guess they're pumping water in that way. And so we were talking with the spokesperson from the fire department, said the fire's pretty much contained. When they arrived, there was flames everywhere, she said. And she even mentioned that they thought that the building might collapse. And she started saying how buildings have been known they're structurally weak in these fires, and so they thought it might collapse. So they pulled everybody out.
So they're even buying into the new propaganda since Building 7 that a small fire makes a big building collapse.
Pretty much. She seemed and everybody seemed to go along with that in the press, because somebody did ask, we heard there's a danger of the plane collapsing. They also mentioned that the plane was not stolen as far as they know at this time. So I don't know. Yeah,
at first they said it was stolen. Now they're saying it wasn't. I know you've been on the road, but what do you think of the developments that he on his own website wrote a manifesto/suicide letter? And the last few months you've been producing here, you've heard me, because everybody kind of does multiple jobs. He also does film work and editing, that I've been saying I believe they're going to stage a false flag, blame it on Tea Partiers, and that the attack will probably come in Austin, and that they're also going to claim that 9/11 truth/birthers are going to try to kill Obama. And now we see similar things, not just from Beck, but from others like Chris Matthews. And now we're seeing Joe Biden saying cryptic things like this as they get the pre-story ready.
Right, and this guy's name is Joe Stack, apparently, the pilot. Yeah. So that's the name they've released.
Yes.
And so I didn't read the suicide notes. I don't know. What did it say? Did he have...
it's basically, the government's scum, and I'm tired of the corrupt government and the zombies and the IRS and the politics. I mean, it's designed... And I believe it wasn't, it looks like it was written by somebody else, just looking at the M.O., tailored to demonize the widest swath of anybody that doesn't like the IRS or the federal government. I mean, it's not even anti-New World Order. It's just anybody that doesn't like the government. Now, again, he could have just been a lone nut, but look at the season. Look at everything that's going on right now. Listen. Have they forced you guys into that building, or are they keeping you back? Because I would just leave and go talk to people at apartment complexes nearby.
They are pretty much keeping everybody back away from it, and that's the next stage. We got some shots of what we could see from here. Douglas is actually in the building that we're in now. He's gone up to see if he can get some shots from some windows up above and get a better bird's eye view, because this building is actually, from when you get inside of it, you can get closer than where we were at the police line.
All right, here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to do. Go up and shoot video of the police and stuff they're doing, but go out and talk to people in other businesses, because the calls are flooding in. We're going to talk to some coming up. The calls are flooding in saying that they came into all the different buildings and were seizing everybody's videotapes.
Oh, really? Okay. We'll definitely look into that and get some notes. Anything you can text us, just text us names and numbers, and we'll get on it.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being out there reporting on this. That's Rob Dew and Jason Douglas. Okay, going back to David Icke, we just got a live report from down there in North Austin where this kamikaze attack reportedly took place. David, what's your gut, from studying the wide spectrum of how these people operate and the preconditioning and everything that's going on? What's your gut on this? My gut tells me this is staged.
Yeah, exactly. But there'll be a cover story. I mean, there's always a cover story. So there'll be a cover story for this man to make it look as if he's done it from completely off his own bat and everything. The power of mind control means that anything could have been programmed into him to be triggered to play out this behavior pattern. I'd also say this, I've said it in my books before, that I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm not saying that. But I would not rule out at some point Obama being assassinated, because he's totally expendable to them. He's just a front man, does what Emmanuel and Axelrod tell him and all the rest of it, and write the words on his auto cue, his teleprompter. And, if he was taken out by some cover story along these lines or worse, then they would justify enormous changes in American society as a result. So, like I say, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I certainly wouldn't rule it out.
David, let me break this down. I don't know if you've seen our articles the last 2 weeks. Really, it's the last 3. I've seen Glenn Beck and now all the other talking heads, liberal and conservative, saying first 9/11 truthers, then Tea Partiers, now birthers, anybody that questions his birth certificate, are going to try to kill him. Right. And so, of course, that's out of left field and totally insane. It does 2 things. It introduces the idea to tens of millions of people who are unstable, a form of light mind control, of provocateuring, of copycatting, of introducing the idea. If they broadcast to a city of 5 million, is somebody going to go jump off the Empire State's Building today? Guaranteed some nut will go do it. That's one thing. They could be trying to fluster people, giving them ideas. That's a form of mind control. Or they are doing the preparatory phase for this.
Yeah, I certainly, absolutely wouldn't rule it out. Like I said, I've said it in previous books that.
No, you said it. You said it a year ago, but now.
It's certainly the land is being prepared, as you say. But of course, they absolutely control the president's security. I mean, when you look at the Israeli prime minister who was assassinated some years ago, what happened? You could see it on the video. He's walking towards a car, and his security kind of line of people actually took a step back. The killer was allowed forward, who shot him. I mean, when you control someone's security, you control whether they live or die.
Same thing with Reagan, same thing with JFK,
yes,
same thing with Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean, the presidents, this is something else that, people new to this need to appreciate. Presidents are not in control of the country. They are the vehicle through which those in control of the country introduce legislation and change in society. The president himself is totally expendable. There'll be another one along soon.
They're PR spokesman.
I mean, never more so, Alex, than with Barack Obama, because of his such the obvious way that he's welded to that teleprompter, which is written by someone else. So he's an absolute extreme expression of this mouthpiece presidency that we're looking at now. So take him out, bring someone in, he'll read someone else's words in the same way. The show goes on. The president's not important. It's the people behind him. So he's expendable. And as I've said before, if him staying alive and doing what he's doing now is most effective for the agenda, they'll leave it. But if assassinating him and creating the massive reaction to that and change as a result is more more better for the agenda, then they'll do that. They're expendable. They'll do what is best for the agenda.
Exactly.
Everyone's expendable to that.
And you've got the Tea Party that's really libertarian, Ron Paul, Alex Jones, anti-New World Order. And it's the real threat to them. They already tried to have the Republicans co-opted. The Tea Parties are suddenly kicking Republicans out in states across the country saying, no, you're not going to co-opt us. It only worked for about a month. Suddenly, now the demonization of the Tea Party. I predict you're going to have bombings, shootings, Tea Party people killing their kids. You're just going to suddenly see all this bad behavior from Tea Party people. And this guy says in this letter they say is real now. I'm sure it's fake. I mean, you can't trust the providence is my point. They now confirm, though, that they're saying it came from him. That, I mean, this guy says from the 80s he's been in the anti-tax groups. And so we're going to learn all about this now and how bad, and the families and the secretaries that died and the people. I mean, they are going to milk this, and they've got the ADL and others running Austin. I mean, they are as thick as fleas here with their operation. That's why I predicted they were going to false flag Austin. You heard it here over and over again out of all the cities in the country.